Good morning. I'm a little under the weather right now. I don't know if you can tell from my voice. I've got a head cold. Pretty classic uh, nasal drip, which leads to a sore throat, which clogged nose, the whole thing. It's the only thing I ever seem to get. Like whenever I'm sick, it's always this. Um, I have to film Adric today too, so that's a little bit frightening. But the work never stops. Um, I know a lot of my viewers come from many different countries. If you have a local remedy for sore throat nasal drip, please do share. But yeah, just a warning in case I sound weird. So, Chaos Knights, the corruption of chivalry. Pretty good name, I'd say. Pretty baller cover too. Spooky night, the whole thing. I always remember this part being funny. This Black Legion guy is just choking this random guardsman. I always thought it was kind of funny. So, Nine Imperial Walking Death Machine is great, but no honor. Just killing and overall death for the most part. Water. Delicious. Anyway, Chaos Knights, pretty darn cool. Giant walkie engines of destruction chill the souls of all who gaze upon them, quaking a terror that they normally would inspire in lowly mortals. So, their special rule is Harbingers of Dread, which I believe the prior one was the same. Yep. Now, the Chaos Knight's old one was always something that was incredibly annoying to deal with when you were first learning the army, but it made a lot of sense at the end. Notice this is all what it is. Crazy, nasty abilities that you'd swap between doom, despair, and darkness. So I'm assuming that'll be significantly reduced. Let's see, battle round 1. Oh, wait, first this part. Each model from your army with this ability gains a bonus depending on which dread abilities are active for your army. Once the dread ability is active for your army, that ability applies until the end of the battle round. So, for the first one, from this first battle round onwards, the despair ability is active for your army. While an enemy unit is within 12 inches of this model, each time the enemy unit takes a battle shock or leadership test, subtract 1 from that test. Pretty classic -1 leadership, so to speak. Nothing particularly fancy-pantsy about that. It's definitely a hell of a lot better than it used to be. Well, that may not be true, because Chaos Knights actually do have had that fancy thing. What was it called? Dread tests? Yeah. So dread tests were actually good. Chaos Knights were the best leadership manipulation army in the game because leadership actually mattered because you had dread tests. So now that leadership kind of matters because Battle Shock, they're probably going to be also pretty decent. Battle round 3 and onwards. From the third battle round onwards, the Doom and Darkness ability is active for your army. Each time this model makes an attack, if the target is battle shocked, add 1 to the wound roll. Each time an attack targets this model, if the attacking model's unit is battle shocked, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Interesting. Okay, so basically they are a fear-causing army. This is actually kind of the thing I would imagine to see on Night Lords, crazy enough. This kind of rule set. It's interesting. I'd say that the battle round 1 ability, because it says each model from your ability gains a bonus depending on which strat abilities are active for your army. Once it is active for your army, ability applies at the end of the battle. So obviously you get despair immediately, and then you get doom and darkness from the time going on. I guess the only thing is that, well, we'd have to see if they have ways to make enemies battle shocked. I'm assuming we will have ways to make the enemy battle shocked. And that will be the main way to utilize this more than just making them battle shocked more difficult. Because it says each time I take a battle shock or leadership test, subtract 1. 12-inch aura is quite a big aura too. And then this is just a very potent buff and debuff. +1 to wound. It doesn't say melee or range. It's both. So +1 to wound and melee and range against a battle shock target is really nasty. And then a -1 to hit from them if they try to attack you is also really good. So that's really good to see. There's a lot there. Many factions have special ways to cause battle shock, but Chaos Mites take further advantage of the bonus to wound, battle shock units, etc. Also, force battle shock tests on nearby units as soon as they've taken damage, turning a single fall model into a cascade failure. So, their detachment rule is Forged in Terror. In the battle shock step of your opponent's command phase, if an enemy unit that is below its starting strength is within 12 of a Chaos Knight model, that enemy unit must take a battle shock test. For the purposes of this ability, if a unit has a starting strength of 1, it's considered to be below its starting strength while it has lost 1 or more wounds. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't just have that in the starting strength thing, where you had to talk about the starting strength of 1, and you really needed to, because they always have to say that in these rules bloat, and I'm like, why didn't you just put that in the main rules, you know? But, all right, so within 12, is when you are within the Despair aura already. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And it is also only to take a single casualty, or if you just happen to damage someone. So not only are they taking a battle shock test, but they're taking it at -1, and just from a singular hit. So being within 12 inches of a Chaos Knight is actually going to be really bad, really, really detrimental. And that's pretty darn good, I gotta say. That's pretty darn good. This is a very good sweep of rules. It is useful against a lot of armies, and it is quite effective. It provides them not only with a damage buff, which is the +1 the wound roll, but it also provides them with a durability buff, which is the -1 to the hit roll. Also, it fucks around with their battle shock, which is really good. Yeah, I gotta be honest, this is pretty good. It's not as fun as all of the crazy Dread Test and Geist Storm and oh my god, if you ever played Orcs against Chaos Knights and they were running Geist Storm, oh, it was the worst thing on the planet. It was so difficult. But there's a lot of fancy back and forth here as far as simplification goes, because we all know everything's being simplified. This is pretty good. I'd actually say this is a potent and enjoyable and fluffy debuff. So I like this a lot. All right, Knight Despoiler and Knight Abominant. Oh man, come on! I want some goddamn tyrants up in here. I guess I already saw the harpoon. All right, Knight Despoiler. So we got both sides here. Let's start with the War Gear side. Its Demon Breath Melted Gun can be replaced with 1 Heavy Stubber. That's the Carapace one right there. It is equipped with Reaper Chain Sword, Titanic Feet, and a Warp Strike Claw. Okay. And then its Reaper Chainsword can be swapped to a Demon Breath Thermal Cannon, or a Despoiler Gatling Cannon and Heavy Dark Flamer, or Battle Cannon and Stubber. Warp Strike Claw can be a Thermal Cannon, Gatling and Flamer. Yeah, okay, all usual stuff. And then they could have a Rocket Pod or some cannons and stuff. Okay, so now for its actual doodad. Knight Despoiler is Vehicle, Walker, Titanic, Towering, Abhorrent. Interesting. Character, Chaos, and Knight Despoiler. 10-inch move, T12, 3-up, 22 wounds, 10 OC. It has Deadly Demise, D6, Harbingers of Dread, and Super Heavy Walker, all things that we've seen on the Imperial Knight side. When a friendly War Dog is within 9 inches of this model, each time that War Dog takes a battle shock test, add 1 to its result. Each time this model touches shoot or fight, you can resolve 1 hit roll, or you can reroll, 1 hit roll, and you can reroll, or you can reroll 1 wound roll when resolving these attacks. Sorry, I've got flu brain. No, it's probably just a cold. Damage 1 through 7, -1 to hit, -5 from OC, and then 5 up invul against ranged attacks. All right, so Dread Dominion kind of seems like its version of a Bondsman ability, where it's just this nice 9-inch aura of +1 to their leadership, so to speak, or battle shock at least. Seething Hatred is just you get to reroll a singular hit or a singular roll when you shoot or fight, which is, just 1. It's nothing too crazy, but if you take like a thermal cannon, it'll be pretty good, or like a big chunky stabby tool. Speaking of big chunky stabby tools, let's check that out. So, Titanic Feet. Let's take a look at that. Titanic Feet is 4 attacks at 3, hitting on 3s, 8-1-2. 4 4 attacks, 3s, 812. What is it right now? Knight to spoiler, yeah. Titanic Feet is 4 attacks at 822. So it's the exact same, just with a loss of AP. All right, that tracks. And then the Warp Strike Claw, Strike and Sweep are, I think, pretty darn similar. I would like to open up the Imperial Knights section real quick, because I would like to see and compare to Canis Rex, who was the other one. So he had a fancy power or a claw that was 5 and 10 at 23 and 9. They have 4 and 8 at 23, 8. And then same sweep profile, though. He gets an extra attack and he gets sustained hits. They don't get sustained hits or anything. They don't have any rules, actually. It's just 23, 8 instead of 9. And then 10, 3. Yeah, okay. That's still pretty good. Reba Chain Sword is a pretty popular one. Is 4 attacks at 14, 4, and 6. But it has 12 attacks, triple, at 9, 3, and 2. So it's got a bit more AP than the Claw does, but less strength and less damage. However, its sweep is only 1 pip of strength less, but it's 1 more AP and way more attacks. So it seems like the Chain Sword is your go-to, slightly higher AP and more of a horde clearing for the most part, or just, high AP. And then the Claw is a bit more of a vehicle killer with the higher damage and higher strength. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good. These are all looking, pretty solid. Classic Knight stuff. All right. Demon Breath Melt-A-Gun. 12-inch range, 1 shot, 9/4d6. It's literally just a melt-a-gun. I guess it's called Demon Breath, so it could be a little bit different than the other variants. Or maybe there's a rule to it, who knows. Demon Breath Thermal Cannon. Blast, Melt-A-6. Wow. 24-inch range, so you're only getting that within 12. 2d3 shots at 12, 4, and then d6. This thermal cannon is 2d3, and then d6 plus 2, also blast. 30-inch range, so the range has actually gone down. And then it is d6 plus 4 within half. So it is a better damage, actually, for the most part. Or at least it's lower with outside of half, but inside of half, it's way higher. Well, way higher, plus 2. The blast is better, so that's a buff. And what was the damage for it? 9 for, okay, so 9. Now it's 12. So about the same, maybe a slight nerf in strength overall from like a relative perspective, but that still hits really hard. There's the spoiler battle cannon, same profile as the last one. It's looking really good. It's looking disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. Just spoiler Gatling cannon. Oh, sweet. So the Gatling cannon here is heavy 12, 6.22 at 36-inch range. This one is 18 at 6.22 as well. Wow. 6 more shots and not a drop of AP. That's going to eat things alive. That is going to rip. Oh, God. 18 shots. Yikes. That's going to hurt so bad. So bad. Well, be careful with your Marines out there. That thing will kill a squad every time. All right. Havoc Missile Pod is blast an indirect fire. D6 plus 1, 501. With blast, nothing too crazy. Heavy Dark Flame, which is a heavy flamer. Diabol's Heavy Stubber is 501. That's interesting. It seems like that's multi-laser. Diabol's Heavy Stubber. Oh, no, it's about the same. It's no longer heavy, but it's rapid fire 3, so with an 18, it's a little bit better. Ruin Spear Rocket Pod. I gotta stop clicking on Canis Rex. 8, 2d6. Yeah. And then the autocannons. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the autocannons have anti-fly 2 up now. And the twin linked. Huh, okay. So anti-fly is you wound them on a 2 up every time. And you get twin linked, so you get the full rerolls to wound. Interesting. So that's how they're going to do anti-flyer stuff now. That's not the worst compromise. I think it's okay. I mean, this is certainly a knight to spoiler. Knights, of course, kind of live and die by how many you can take and their rules more so than anything. But right now, their guns are looking incredibly powerful, as knight guns tend to be. And because of that, yeah, I mean, the spoiler looks like it will absolutely rip people apart, especially that Gatling cannon. I want to look at the other one. So it says the presence of the abhorrent class to spur war dogs cluster around them. New bonds and abilities benefit with the armor to target Inquisitors, knights using them. While Chaos Knight is affected by its own, unaffected by its own aura, it does change the dynamic between Lord and Squire. That's a good point. Okay, let's look at the Knight Abominant, because this is the new Knight they just came out with. It is the Psyker Knight. It's a very weird one. And I actually think it always looked really, really cool. So, has Psyker character, a few other things. 10 inches, 12, 3, 22, classic stat line. The classic 5 of Invul save, the same kind of damage situation, delay demise, etc., etc. Vortex Terrors. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 12 that unit must take a battle shock test. And then at the end of your movement phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 9 inches of this model. On a 3-up, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Wow. Wow. Okay. Reminds me of my old Travis St. Catherine ability, except way better. All right, so Vortex Terrors is very good. They're within your range, which is great, so they get the -1 to the tests. But also, it is at the start of your shooting phase. So if you wanted to get +1 to wound on something, and you could pick the one you want that wound to go on, which is really good. Though I will say, Warp Storms are also very, very good because this is a great way to get a little bit of plink damage on a ton of models that you just shove it into them. And by doing so, due to the Chaos Knight's current detachment rules, even one lost model is enough for a battle shock test within 12. And since this is within 9, I mean, that's going to hit. That might hit really hard, actually. This is a great rule. It's very, very synergistic. So, ranged weapons, we have the Heavy Stubber, which is the, something we've seen before, the Volkite Combustor. It's 30-inch range, 9 shots, strength 12, AP 0, damage 3, but with devastating wounds. So you're fishing for 6s on this gun. I thought it had way fewer shots than that. Heavy 6. Heavy 6, and then the AP was lost. So it gained 3 shots, lost its AP, but still keeps its mortal wound doodads. I'd probably say that's better. I'd say it's better overall. Yeah, and the extra shots, I think, mitigate the difference in AP, personally. So I'd say it's better. Yeah, that's nasty. That's got a huge strength, high damage, and possibly mortals. That's pretty good. And then the melee weapons we have are the Bale Mace, which is extra attacks. 3 more at 812. Cool. And then the Electro Scourge, which is it's weird, wiggly. Has sustained hits 1, so exploding 6s, and then 9 attacks at 10-3. Bale Mace here was D3 additional attacks at 822. So it was flat 3 attacks now, so that's better, but -1 AP. And then for the Scourge, it is 823 at 9 attacks. And this is 9 attacks at 1023 to make up for the difference in strength and vehicle changes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, this is pretty great. This has a fun ability with its Warp Storms and Terrors. It's synergistic. It's handy for what Chaos Knights want to be. Its weapons are wacky, but still very powerful. And, you know, I gotta be honest, Chaos Knights are looking pretty good. They're not looking like insane good like the Imperial Knights and Eldar were looking, but they are looking fun and effective. You know? Oh, hello. Let's see this. The Desecrator Laser Destructor. 3 shots, hits on 2s. 18 for D6 plus 3. That's right. That's like the big murder vehicles thing. And then the Warp Strike Claw. GW, why would you show us this? GW, it's in his profile. It's right here. Why would they do that? We just saw this. My guy. Why didn't you show us anything else? Why didn't you show us some of the war dog, like was it the brigand that has the nasty gun? Yeah, the brigand ability. Or why didn't you show us the Night Tyrant and like the volcano cannon or something? Or the Dark Flame cannon? Why? You already showed us this. All right. Okay. Sure. Never mind. All right. Stratagem Spotlight. Traitorous Lance Battle Tactics. The start of your shooting phase with the start of the fight phase. 2 or more war dogs from your unit from your army, and 1 enemy unit that is an eligible target for each of those selected war dogs. At the end of the phase, the selected war dogs unit can only target that enemy unit, but also weapons equipped by those war dog models gain the sustained hits ability. In addition, if that enemy unit is battle shocked until the end of the phase, each time it's made to make an enemy hit. Oh, modified hit roll of 5 up scores a critical hit. Excuse me. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good. That's classically good. Not only is it a 1 CP thing that gives exploding 6s to 2 or more war dogs, apparently. So it could be like 5 war dogs against 1. This is a really good anti like giant tanky middle of the map buff piece. I'm gonna stake 10 Terminators with this character and all of these buffs, and it's like, all right, 5 war dogs, 1 CP are all gonna shoot exactly that unit. And if you're battle shocked, hey, guess what? They get exploding 5s to hit instead of 6s, which is pretty good. That's a pretty great stratagem. I love how it's 2 or more. That's pretty good. All right. Damn. Look at them Chaos Knights. Those are some big ass boys. Some big boys. Chaos Knights are terrifying foes to face, where they tread, fear, and panic spread. This is how he wanted them to play in this latest edition. Their army rule and detachment ability work together to cause widespread panic in their foes, and many of their detachment stratagems either grant the Chaos Knights bonuses when attacking battle-shocked foes or impose penalties on their foes when their nerve breaks. This is all before you consider the dash sheets themselves, which, as you might expect, are all potently destructive. The vision here was a master and their pack of savage hounds. In this case, the despotic, titanic knights who lead their war dogs to battle. You know, I see it. I fully see it. It's got a great bit of combos here. Chaos Knights, I will say, have maybe it's one of the simpler data sheets and stuff going on right now, but it is very fun. It is effective. Is utilized by the whole game system better thanks to the changes to battle shock and leadership. Good damage buffs, good durability buffs, great detachment rule. Curious how the other ones will be. Data sheets look good. Stratagem looks very good. Don't know why they showed us the claw. We already saw the claw. Don't know why they did that, but whatever, I guess. And then the stratagem's good. It's like it's all just kind of solid. I gotta say, I have very few comments on this one. It's simple and it works well. All right, what's next? I knew it. They were going Imperium, Xenos, Chaos for the most part. See, it's Imperium, Xenos, Chaos, and then Imperium, Xenos, Chaos, which means Imperium was next. So we have the Custodes tomorrow. I am very curious about Custodes. We will see how they turn out. Thank you all very much for watching. Sorry I'm sick. Hopefully I'll be better tomorrow. And I'll see you around. Bye-bye.